Welcome to the I Can Do Anything podcast. My name is Colin. Today I am talking about opening night of the NBA. The NBA season is officially upon us. Since you last heard my voice, there's been some injury updates, an injury or two that actually did affect last night's opening games. But other than that, I'm going to talk about Pelicans and Raptors and the Battle of LA between the Clippers and the Lakers. But first, the I Can Do Anything podcast is brought to you by Ludus. Selling tickets should be easy so you can focus on what truly matters, your production. The I Can Do Anything podcast is powered by Ludus, built from the ground up for a high school theater director. Ludus is simple and free online ticket sales for K through 12 schools. With a customized ticketing portal, Ludus offers great customization features. Choose your own unique domain, pick custom colors to match your organization, and even build a meaningful splash page with the drag and drop editor. Take control of your ticket sales with the advanced control panel tools. Add shows and showtimes. Search for tickets, find patron data in seconds, create multiple admin users, and issue exchanges and refunds at the click of a button. One of the best features Ludus has to offer is the ability to generate detailed reports, view revenue data broken down day by day, manipulate your data to answer questions about your sales, and export your data for future use. Ludus also offers powerful reserved seating. Easily let your patrons choose their own seats for your reserved seating shows. Upload your seating chart using the drag and drop maker. Add sections, rows, tables. Choose premium seating, and general admission shows are possible too. Keep track of student sales by simply adding student ledgers. Each student receives a Ludus account and special sales code that can be applied to any order. When patrons purchase their tickets, they have the ability to print their tickets at home, have them digitally sent to their email for use on mobile devices, or mark them to be picked up at will call. With Ludus, customer service is a breeze. Oftentimes, it's nice to talk to a real person who understands what your job consists of. Ludus offers real-time support through their chat widget, step-by-step guides, videos, and an 888 phone number. Ludus has sold over 1 million tickets since its foundation in 2015 and over 450,000 tickets this year. Visit ludus.com and start selling tickets today with Ludus's forever 100% free guarantee to your program. That's ludus.com, LUDUS.com. And by Slump. The I Can Do Anything podcast is brought to you by Slump, Dave Jarzina's debut novel, a tale of a 13-year-old named Mitchie Evers. He's at odds with every single person in his life. His friends, even old reliable best buddy Sammy, no longer seem to appreciate Mitchie's sparkling wit. His parents are so busy gushing over his perfect older brother that they don't have time for Mitchie. One by one, he alienates his best friend, family, teachers, and former soccer coach with his bullheadedness and his inappropriate and ill-timed sense of humor. With his penchant for hurting and insulting people, Mitchie makes a convincing jerk. He knows he's a little bit too young to be in a serious slump, but what can he do about it? Purchase the book that countless readers recommend anywhere that you buy books, whether it be Barnes & Noble's, Amazon, Audible, Apple Books, Google Play, and more. Okay, so in Game 1 last night of TNT's doubleheader, the Pelicans were beat 130-122 by the Raptors on ring night for the Raptors. The Raptors got off to a little bit of a slow start, as to be expected on the night that, you know, this happens pretty traditionally to the championship team as they receive their rings. There's a lot of emotion that goes into that, obviously. So the Raptors got off to a little bit of a slow start early on. Lonzo looked really good. Hit a three, wasn't hesitating shooting threes at all, which is exactly what the Pelicans are going to want out of Lonzo Ball, I think, for a majority of this season. Towards the end of the game, though, Lonzo Ball wasn't in the game. I'll touch on that here in a second. But like I talked about in the last episode with Dobb and Sloan, just like their head coach, whose name now all of a sudden is escaping me, just like he's going to do with Zion Williamson, he's going to encourage Zion to shoot threes the same way he encouraged Channing Frye to shoot threes in Phoenix. He's going to do the same with Lonzo, and Lonzo is going to have the green light to shoot threes. He was 2 of 3 last night, 66% from 3, but only finished with 8 points in 24 minutes, 2 of 7 overall from the field. JJ Redick played really great, shot a really high percentage, was 6 of 9 from the field, 66%, 4 of 6 from 3 in 27 minutes. Derek Favors looked good early, but was, finished 50% from the field, 6 points, 7 rebounds. I don't know, a very underwhelming performance in his first game for the Pelicans. I really don't have a lot to say from the Pelicans' standpoint in this game. They were very unimpressive. Like I said, Zion's injury. It was reported that Zion will be out 6 to 8 weeks and missed last night's opening night. Jrue Holiday, though, wasn't assertive enough for me. He wasn't aggressive enough. He played the most minutes, 41 minutes, and that's going to be expected. That's going to be pretty much every game. Jrue Holiday, as their best player and their veteran guy, is going to play the most minutes. They were led in scoring by Brandon Ingram, who was really efficient from the mid-range, was 8 of 19 from the field, shot 42%, 2 of 5 from 3, 40% from 3 for Brandon Ingram is great. If he makes 2 of 5 threes in every game for them, that's a really solid contribution from 3-point for him. But I just want to see Jrue Holiday a lot more assertive. He took 15 shots from the field, shot 40%, 6 of 15, but only finished with 13 points. Struggled from 3, and he's not known as the 3-point shooter. Jrue Holiday is listed as their starting small forward. They're really small. The Raptors starting lineup was also really small, and that may have sort of dictated. Well, I don't think so. As I look at their bench, maybe with the exception of Josh Hart, who would also, I guess, be considered small in that lineup if he were to start, let's say, in place of JJ Redick. They were really small, though. Lonzo Ball at point guard, JJ Redick starting at shooting guard, Jrue Holiday as your small forward, Brandon Ingram as a power forward. Ingram sometimes started at 2 last year with the Lakers, and more ideally would be your small forward, and then Derek Favors as the center. I would almost rather see them start Okafor and Derek Favors at the point or at the power forward and the center, and then maybe move Jrue Holiday to the 2. Start Lonzo Ball at the 3 or at the 1. I'm sorry, Lonzo Ball at the 1. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They've got a lot of. They're very guard heavy. Brandon Ingram, Jrue Holiday, JJ Redick, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Etuan Moore, a couple other of these guys whose names, their rookie who came out, shot a ton of shots. He was 1 of 7 from 3. He made his first, I think he missed the first 3, made the second, but was 1 of 7 from 3 and got some criticism at halftime from the TNT guys. I think it was from Charles Barkley for shooting so many threes. He only played 11 minutes though. But yeah, the Pelicans were really small. I would like to see Jrue Holiday be more aggressive. I think he probably should take more than 15 shots for this Pelicans team. Maybe when Zion, especially with Zion out, but maybe when Zion comes back, 15 is a little better. But for the Raptors, they started Van Vliet and Lowry, who are both traditionally point guards. Van Vliet was their 6th man off the bench last year. With Kawhi gone, he moves into a starting role. It'll be interesting to see how that changes throughout the year. The Raptors only played 8 guys last night. Stanley Johnson didn't play, and a number of other guys didn't play off their bench, but they only went 8 deep, and Serge Ibaka came off the bench and played. Yeah, it's interesting to me that Serge Ibaka is coming off the bench. I would almost rather see them go Lowry at the 1, Anunoby at the 2, Siakam at the 3, Serge Ibaka at the 4, and then Gasol at the 5. I mean, in this game, against an injured and very, very young Pelicans team. It really didn't matter a whole lot, but I would rather see Van Vliet continue to come off the bench, although he had a great night as a starter, played 44 minutes, had 34 points, shot 66% from the field, 12 of 18 from the field, 5 of 7 from 3, 71.4% from 3. So maybe Van Vliet is a good starter. Again, it was against a very, very young, a very, very new Pelicans team without, arguably their best player in Zion. I think their best player is Drew Holiday and maybe Brandon Ingram after that. And then Zion maybe third without having played a single NBA game. I would rather see the Raptors in the long term, though, start Serge Ibaka and still kind of have Van Vliet come in as your scorer off the bench. Norman Powell played 28 minutes. It was pretty inefficient. Scored 5 points, 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. Took that. I thought it was weird that he took that last shot in regulation to potentially win the game when it was tied at the buzzer. I thought it was. I mean, he kind of just ended up with it, but like it was sort of a pretty elongated ISO. Like he kind of held the ball at the top for quite some time. And ended up taking the last shot of regulation, the potential game winner. Whereas, Van Vliet, who was on the court and had 34 points, or maybe not at the time, I'm sure he scored a little bit in overtime. I fell asleep for overtime, and then when I watched it this morning was only really half paying attention while I worked. But yeah, it's interesting to see that why wouldn't Van Vliet or Lowry or Siakam or Norman Powell, I'm sure if the Raptors could have had it anyway, Norman Powell would be pretty far down the list as to who would take that shot. They still won, though. Siakam had 34 after getting a very, very big contract extension for the Raptors. Siakam's going to have to play this well and be, this is going to have to be what Siakam does on a nightly basis if the Raptors want to get anywhere near a championship or anywhere near the finals again this year. He played 38 minutes, had 34 points, 11 of 26, 42.3% from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 40%, 10 of 11, 90% from the free throw line. Getting to the free throw line is going to be important for him. He had 18 rebounds, 5 assists, a really, really great game. Van Vliet had 7 assists. Kyle Lowry had 6 assists, but a great game for Siakam. And the Raptors defended their title on ring night in Game 1 of TNT's doubleheader. Game 2 was between the Lakers and the Clippers. I'll talk about that game, but first, Bob's Red Mill Premium Whole Ground Flaxseed Meal is a big supporter of the I Can Do Anything podcast. They're really not a big supporter. I just support Bob's Red Premium Whole Ground Flaxseed Meal. I also buy their chia seeds, but their flaxseed meal contains a wealth of nutrients and gives your body access to the amazing nourishment stored within. The seeds have been milled in order to maintain the integrity of the wholesome nutrients in the flaxseed oil and are treated with great care at Bob's Red. They don't cut any corners or make compromises. Their flax milling machinery keeps the meal cool, preserving the freshness of those precious oils. It's not the fastest way, but it's the right way, and it is absolutely worth the time and effort. Cheers to your good health. Visit bobsredmill.com today. Okay, so Lakers and Clippers. The Lakers lost in a away game at the Staples Center to the Clippers, 102-112. LeBron played 36 minutes. Anthony Davis, 37 minutes. The Lakers played 5. So 10 guys total. They went 10 deep, all of which played in double figures. Their lowest minutes was Jared Dudley, who played 13 minutes, scored 6 points, was 2 of 2 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. A couple big shots for Jared Dudley, a couple big threes, a couple catch and shoot threes. That's really going to be his role. He's going to be a screener. He's going to be a hustle guy. He's going to be a rebounder, and he's going to be a three-point shooter. I think one of those was a corner three, and one of them was from the wing. They actually both might have been corner threes, but that's pretty much where you're going to see Jared Dudley. for their majority of the season. Troy Daniels played 16 minutes, had 6 points, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. He hit his first 3 early on. It was a quick catch and shoot 3. He had kind of a stupid turnover. I think it was his dumb turnover that ended up. I don't know. I think it was his dumb turnover where LeBron swatted Landry Shamet off the glass. I was amazed. It was late in the third quarter. I'm just still amazed that people are challenging LeBron in transition at the rim. Like, the guy's been doing this his entire career, blocking people from behind off the backboard, and he times it so incredibly well. It's almost to the point now where you think like, okay, LeBron's made a reputation for himself as I would argue the league's greatest ever chase down shot blocker. I mean, you could put together I'm sure there is out there an incredible reel of LeBron chasing people down in transition. It's to the point now, even with Landry Shamet, where it's not even necessarily a chase down. He kind of just coasts along next to the player and just waits for them to shoot a layup or try to dunk it and swats it against the backboard or just blocks their shot sort of from behind. But now he's almost more just timing it up. Just kind of teasing the opponent to shoot the layup. Landry Shamet, who's a second-year guy, should know better. He grew up watching LeBron play basketball. I don't get why guys are still challenging him. Like, if I was Landry Shamet in that situation, it was a 2-on-1 with it was kind of just a 1-on-1. And LeBron was a little bit behind him, and Shamet just kind of casually goes up for a layup and doesn't really double pump or make LeBron use the rim as his protection at all. I don't know. I don't think either way, LeBron would. I just would pull the ball out. It's almost of more value. I wouldn't be upset with my player if in that situation they just pulled the ball out and set up an offense, because LeBron blocks that shot far more times than he doesn't block that shot. I'm just amazed that people are still challenging LeBron in transition with those chase down blocks. But LeBron was a little underwhelming offensively. 18 points on 7 of 9 shooting, 36.8% from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 8 assists, 5 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block, 10 rebounds. Anthony Davis had 25 points on 38% shooting, 8 of 21 from the field, shot 14 free throws, was 64% from the free throw line, 9 of 14, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 blocks, 1 steal. JaVale McGee played pretty good off the bench, only 4 points, but played 17 minutes. Danny Green had a hell of a night in his first game as a Laker, 32 minutes, 28 points, 10 of 14, 71% from the field, 7 of 9 from 3, 77.8% from 3, 7 rebounds, no turnovers, 2 steals, 1 block. Other than that, they didn't get a ton from their bench. I said that they went 10 deep, but they only got, 6, 12, 16. They only got 19 points off the bench. So kind of underwhelming in terms of their bench points. The Clippers played 9. They, however, got 21 from Lou Williams, 17 from Montrezl Harrell. So not as deep personnel-wise. They played 1 less guy, but they got tons more bench production. Montrezl Harrell played 38 minutes off the bench. Lou Williams played 36 off the bench. JaMychal Green played 19 minutes, 12 points, 50% shooting from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. Mo Harkless came in and had a couple of steals. He ended up with 4 total, but had a couple of steals right away off the bench. So their bench was far more productive. Patrick Beverley was great. He only had 2 points on 1 of 7 shooting, 0 of 5 from the three-point line, but was just 10 rebounds, guarded LeBron a majority of the game, 6 assists, no steals, but 1 block, 3 turnovers. Beverly did his. I mean, that's Patrick Beverly in a nutshell. Ivanka Zubac played 9 minutes though. So I don't know. Montrezl Harrell might as well start. I think that they just want to have. It's almost like they want to have those 2 guys off the bench. It's kind of, I don't know, it just seems like a storyline that Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams are these 2 great bench players for the Clippers, when really they're both starters pretty much. Kawhi Leonard had 30 points on 31 minutes, 10 of 19, 52.6% from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 20% from 3. Shot 10 free throws, 90% from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 turnovers, 2 steals, and 1 block. Overall, Kawhi Leonard was pretty damn good. He was pretty efficient from the field, shooting a lot of those. He kind of doesn't even shoot mid-range jump shots. It's almost like they're like intermediate. It's like they're somewhere between a mid-range jump shot and a layup. It's kind of like that intermediate range, like a 8-footer. Shoot like a 6-foot jump shot inside the lane, something that pretty much nobody in the league does. Most guys at that range, like 8 to 4 feet, will shoot a floater or just kind of like a teardrop layup. But Kawhi Leonard really shoots like your traditional jump shot almost every time. You just got really great balance in the air. Kawhi Leonard was pretty damn good defensively. Didn't guard LeBron the whole game, but was certainly on him a good amount of the time. I don't know what to say about the game, really. A great first matchup. The Clippers won without Paul George. So far, I've been proven wrong. While the Lakers did play 1 more guy off the bench, the Clippers bench was far more efficient, far more productive. I mean, Montrezl Harrell, 63.6% from the field. Lou Williams, 57% from the field, 8 of 19. JaMychal Green, 50%. Mo Harkless, 57.1%. I mean, they were incredibly efficient. As a team, they shot 51.9% from the field, whereas the Lakers shot 43.5% from the field. Let's see, 20 assists for the Lakers and 24 assists for the Clippers, 45 rebounds for the Clippers, 41 rebounds for the Lakers. So the Lakers really got beat in pretty much every facet of the game. The crowd seemed to be overwhelmingly Lakers fans. That's going to be pretty much every game that they play against each other this season. But a really fun game to watch. I was so fucking excited watching it this morning. I watched the first quarter at home while I had breakfast, and then I watched the next 3 quarters at work. Yeah, I'm so fucking. Regardless, the Lakers lost. It's game 1. It really doesn't mean a whole lot. LeBron looked pretty passive. He looked like he wanted to get Anthony Davis established and involved really early. I don't really have I'm not going to stress too much over their very first game. When the Clippers and the Lakers meet in February and March, and more realistically, if and when they meet in late May, I'm going to put a lot more weight into that. However, it does say something that the Clippers won the way that they did without Paul George. Certainly, the Clippers look like the favorite in the NBA. So today, games all over the NBA, a bunch of very underwhelming, pretty unwatchable games. Right now, I'm at the radio station. It's 8:30 p.m. The Bulls and the Hornets are playing. The Pistons and the Pacers. Both games are actually close. Bulls up 75-73 on the Hornets. Pistons up down 64-65 to the Pacers. Both in the third quarter. The Cavs and the Magic are close in the third quarter. The T-Wolves are leading the Nets in the second quarter. Grizzlies and Heat. None of these games really have too much intrigue. The one that I'm excited to get home and watch with my lady are the Celtics and the 76ers. They're in the 30s in the second quarter. But I don't know. Today's slate isn't all that exciting other than the Celtics and the 76ers. The Wizards and the Mavericks will be interesting. Bradley Beal is fun to watch, and I'm really excited to watch the Mavs this year. Knicks and Spurs, nope. Thunder and Jazz, I'll watch that one because I really am excited to watch the Jazz this year. The Nuggets and the Trailblazers will be great. Today's ESPN nightcap, and then the Kings and the Suns, pretty much unwatchable, although the young Kings are pretty fun to watch. Devin Booker is certainly exciting to watch on the Suns. Every game this year is going to be a good watch just because there's somebody on every team that's fun to watch. But the 3 games that I will more than likely try to touch on next episode will be Timberwolves Nets, just to talk about Kyrie's first game. The injuries that I was going to address, the Pistons, who are playing the Pacers now. Blake Griffin will be out for some time for the Pistons, and it's reported that Klay Thompson will not play this entire season. I think that's really good for Klay Thompson, not necessarily good for the Warriors. It's good for Steph Curry's MVP hopefulness, I guess. But the NBA will certainly miss Klay Thompson. So I'll try to touch on Nuggets and Trailblazers, maybe a little bit of Jazz Thunder. It'll be interesting to see Chris Paul's first game for the Thunder, Celtics 76ers, Mavs Wizards, and T-Wolves and Nets. Thank you for listening to the I Can Do Anything podcast, brought to you by Slump, by Dave Jarzina, Ludus, and Bob's Red Mill Premium Whole Ground Flaxseed Meal. I will be back with another episode, maybe tomorrow or potentially on Friday, and then a special episode with some of my friends from last weekend. I think I'm going to post that episode on Saturday. It is a very, very long episode with a lot of shibachery. Is that a word? Is that a thing? A lot of shibaggery from the boys. It was good to have everybody back in one setting. Just the thing that I really loved about it most was podcasting is a really great way for people to like just sit down and talk. Like, not too often, especially in today's society, do a group of friends or a group of people in general, or 2 people, sit down with the sole intention of talking other than to podcast. And I think that that's something really special. It was really cool to just talk with these guys. The conversation at times was really stupid. At other times it was actually pretty fun and insightful and like thought-provoking. So I'm excited for people to hear that conversation. But yeah, thanks for listening. It's exciting to have the NBA back. I'm excited to get home and watch some hoops with my woman. Yeah. Have a good, you know what? I don't know if I'll record another episode this week. It may just be on Saturday that I post that episode with the boys. But regardless, thanks for listening. I'm going to be in Holland this weekend for a wedding. I really don't want to go to a wedding. I really don't feel like driving to Holland, but it's a good family friend. Sophie Adams is getting married this weekend. You can hear the excitement in my voice, can't you? All right. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy some hoops. Peace.